You want to talk about yoga types?
Yeah.
Because that's what your list is.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, what are some other types? Because in my head I was thinking, like, actual types, because I put billion hybrids, because there were, like, a billion hybrids, and I don't think it's even, like, worth it to
no.
talk about that. Like, the things I see the most, yin, restorative, hot, and that could
Hot
just be its own-
Bikram.
Hot and the Bikram
Yeah.
are different, too.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, and this is me, I'm an asshole, but pretty much, like, when people ask me about Bikram, first of all, I
Bikram
tell them
sucks.
he's a rapist.
Yeah. Yeah. Terrible person.
Sorry, like, I
should
know
be-
I don't talk shit about any other yoga teacher or studio.
No. People
But
should
he's
talk
literally
shit
a
about
rapist.
Bikram. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of expensive cars. Like, that was his whole deal.
Yeah,
It was
he's a
like,
disgusting human. That is not yoga.
No.
That's
No.
that's not humaning either. He's
No.
a bad human. So
Yeah.
and
I can't believe that people are still, like, knowing that, and they're still, like, keeping Bikram in the name of a studio.
that
like,
I agree with that.
Like,
I mean,
but you see it less, I think. But everybody still
I kind of ignore it, so I don't know.
Everybody thinks yoga's hot yoga now.
I know, and that's the problem. And that's a big problem, I think. Yeah. So we've got
And
then there's
our
our-
studio heated. Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, so we don't, freeze in the winter, but
yeah, not to 105 degrees
No.
with a humidifier.
isn't there some that's like 120?
Jesus, I hope not.
I thought that there was something that went to 120, and you're not allowed to drink water.
Oh, that's totally Bikram. You're not in
Yeah.
Bikram. They tell you when you're allowed to drink water, and you're not allowed to. Like, if you go, like, some instructors will yell at you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is not for me.
and you're not allowed to leave the room. For real, like, I got yelled at in a Bikram class because I was going to vomit because it was too hot, and I was out in the lobby, like, trying to compose myself, and the instructor came out in the hallway to yell at me to tell me that I'm not allowed to leave in the middle of class, and I was like, I'm going to vomit. Like,
Yeah.
what? I didn't, but, like, still, what?
Yeah.
That's, like, not psychologically sound.
Yeah, no.
It's like telling people they don't understand how their own bodies work. But yeah,
Right.
you don't understand. Bikram understands that, and like they were like, if you feel the swirls, that was their cutesy name for being dizzy. They're like, Bikram says the swirls are detoxifying.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
bad.
Really?
It's bad energy leaving your body if you're dizzy. Like, no, that's dehydration.
Yeah, you're gonna pass out.
Like, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's
Yeah,
like a whole
okay.
other thing where we'd probably
Yeah. Like
have a hard time not talking shit.
Things not to do, yeah.
Ashtanga,
Ashtanga.
Vinyasa, but then Vinyasa has roots in Ashtanga. I had somebody ask me, somebody that's in teacher training, she asked me last week, she was like, I am so confused because I learned that Hatha yoga is all physical yoga, but then I see these studios and they call it Hatha yoga because it's not Vinyasa, and isn't Vinyasa Hatha too? And I was like,
Yes.
yeah.
Hatha's the umbrella.
It's the umbrella, but sometimes people will use that as the name to mean
General.
not vinyasa mostly.
Yeah.
Like you might, and describing it to her, she was just like,
That didn't help.
no.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know.
What else is there? There's
So Hatha, Yin, restorative, Kundalini, which the Kundalini's popping up more in Columbus.
Yeah.
Vinyasa, Ashtanga, like
and then there's flow.
yeah, like,
And
how
I
does
don't-
that even differ?
I
Like,
don't
does it differ? Are people saying flow just so people aren't intimidated by the word vinyasa?
Yeah.
And they're making it more...
Yeah. And I think then the other problem is just trying to describe, there's the difference between saying that this is a different genre
Yeah.
versus just trying to simply describe a class in, the 3 inches that you have to put in your
Yeah.
description. I mean, that's a challenge because, like, you're trying to, there's the marketing, and then there's also the trying to, like, let you know what the hell it is. You know? So
Yeah.
you're trying to say, okay, this is accessible to you, or this isn't accessible to you.
Oh.
This is what you're looking, I mean, this is a movement class versus it isn't. But even sometimes that's hard to understand by a description.
Or even then you throw in stuff like power yoga, which is like, I mean, it's kind of just vinyasa, but then
I feel like Ashtanga is a power yoga.
Yeah,
as
you
far
could
as,
take
like,
everything.
It's tough as hell.
You could take everything from Ashtanga and just like create your own sequence, and that's usually power yoga. When I taught power yoga at my gym, I was really teaching Ashtanga most of the time, and I didn't really. That was really how I approached every class. It was like, you know, your round to sun A, your round to sun B, and then maybe, like, I would do, like, chair, and then a twist, and then, you know, it really just approached it like Ashtanga. So, I don't know. But then, at least at Balance, they've got Baptiste, which is just his brand of power yoga. So
there's Baptiste, and then there's bar, and then...
What the hell's bar yoga? Is that even yoga? Because I know what bar is. Because my sister, when she was younger, I went to bar class with her because she was really still into dance, and it was just like I did dance as a kid, so it was just like it was literally like doing bar exercises for your ballet class.
Yeah, I feel like it's not yoga. However, I have seen yoga places with bar classes, therefore blending the two.
Or like how Pilates and yoga got smushed together. Is that still, I feel like that's phasing out a little, but is Pilates still big?
I don't know. I don't do it because of it. My hips click when I do all this Pilates
with
stuff.
The circles, when you're lying on your back, you have to do the circles. I think it's my left hip. It's like I can feel it.
And then it vibrates on the floor.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I'm not a dancer. Like, Pilates is for dancers.
And the roll-ups. The, like, lying down flat and doing, like, a billion roll-ups. I'm like,
And I'm not, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, I've tried these things,
but it's not
yoga. It's not yoga, and that's not what I want to do.
And how about, like, if we talk about this stuff, how do we say what's yoga, like, what makes it yoga? Because I think what makes it yoga is the emphasis on mindfulness and breath with your movement. That, like,
that is yoga.
But that's what I think, but then that could make it more complicated, because then if you say, like, well, if I've got these little 2-pound dumbbells and I'm inhaling with my breath up and exhaling down and I'm paying attention to the muscles, and I'm like, shit, am I just a snob? That's where I'm really, like, torn and I don't want to talk about it.
And I feel you, because also, I mean, the flip side of this conversation is we've got a bunch of things calling itself yoga.
Yeah.
That I don't think is yoga.
Yeah.
Just because it's in a yoga studio with yoga mats and yoga pants.
Expensive ones, if possible.
That I don't think. But here's the thing. So here's the dilemma with yoga, because it's also a philosophy.
Yeah. I think that's the important piece, though.
And that's it, because so here's the way that I teach yoga. Is my biggest argument is it's not just asana, and yoga is in everything.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge. It's it's a lifestyle, and yoga isn't just asana.
Right. I wrote down something in here like a few months ago because I found it this morning. Just my yoga notebook. I was talking about ahimsa and applying that to yoga, and kind of like how that was what made me think of what was yoga, because if you're... Because ahimsa, it could be like, hey, don't kill people, but it's also like,
be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself. So if you are approaching your practice with this expectation that everything you do needs to be perfect, or else it's wrong, or you did a bad yoga class, or like you're angry at yourself. I think I wrote it down because I had somebody come into a class and she was pissed off at herself because she couldn't bind in Marichyasana.
Yeah.
And I wasn't teaching an Ashtanga class, but she had taken an Ashtanga class, and she was like obsessing over that. And like I noticed that was a thing that people are doing. They're coming into class and they're like, oh, I'm so annoyed with myself because I can't do this thing. Yeah. And I'm like, and I think it was that day I was like, let's talk about ahimsa. Like, let's talk about some of the yamas and niyamas, and like how that here it was. So like I wrote down is do no harm, take no shit, but like respecting boundaries, listening to our bodies, eliminating shoulds, setting. So this was the one that I talked about because I was like I wrote it down after. So setting aside the need to improve and allowing each moment, so mindfulness, to unfold. So is the asana restricting your breath?
Yeah.
Then slow the down because that's not ahimsa. So moving with intention, respecting and loving your limitations.
Yeah.
So that was what I wrote down. I don't know when that was. That was like a long time ago. But
Do you have non-judgmental in there? I mean, is that did you write those words? I can't remember if you said that because you said a lot that's like dead on.
Well, I just wrote a few things. So I was just talking about some of the yamas. I was like talking about.
Truly, those things to me are yoga.
That's what I was thinking because I wrote
everything else is like the physical manifestation.
I wrote about ahimsa was like nonviolence, but it's physical, mental, and emotional violence to yourself. So it's your self-talk too. Compassion, so accepting things as they are. So I was talking about. I think I was talking about this in the context of the yin class because you're like supposed to go to your edge and hang out there, and I was like, that's it. That's ahimsa. Like, and then like as your body wants to go deeper, you do it.
Right. And, and the challenge with this is that yoga, the physical aspect of yoga, as well as the philosophical aspect of yoga, is not only is it a way of life, but I think it's also a metaphor for life, a rule for life in that, we talk so much about discomfort and suffering and the difference between injurious pain versus informational pain and discomfort and the thing is that in my mind yoga is a practice one aspect of yoga is a practice in being with discomfort, not just physical discomfort, sitting with like, oh god, I'm fat. Wait a minute. Why did I just say that I'm fat?
Right. Why do I think that?
Yeah.
Like, do I need to, like, that's not nice of me. And then, like, just kind of like.
Right. And so to me, it's, and it's not just, it's sitting with that discomfort and the challenging things, physical, mental, psychological, whatever. And the physical can be a body shape or a breath. And knowing that by doing that, you're growing stronger, either physically stronger or emotionally and mentally stronger as well.
I know. I've been describing it as like a resilience practice. So if you're in a balancing pose and you're like, oh God, I can't stay here. I'm going to fall over. It's like, okay, fine, fall over. But the next time you do it, it's probably going to be a little bit easier. And that's part of building resilience. So it's like, it's building mental resilience to keep trying, which I guess then that makes me think of some of the crazy pretzel poses. And I'm like, oh man, is that all that is? Which I think it is it's just like building that resilience to...
It is, but then I think also applying the mindfulness to recognize, but do I need to do that?
Right, do I need to do that to be...
And yet you do still need to have some discipline to say, okay, so the challenge is when you've got somebody who's either new to yoga or anything. Discipline is a challenge because you're asking a potential new person to say, we say yoga every day, which I don't necessarily agree with as far as like an asana practice.
No, I don't think anybody needs to do like a vinyasa every day or ashtanga every day.
But the challenge of, it's cold and rainy, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to go to my yoga class. So there's the discipline of continuing a practice, whether it's a meditation practice every day, or let's just say yoga because meditation is yoga. Practicing some form of yoga, whatever that means, every single day is part of the discipline. But recognizing the discipline of knowing that if I practice this pose, I may get stronger. But also the discipline, and this is the hard one of saying, is this a pose that will benefit me? Or am I competing with myself or the other people in the class to try to do this pose?
The attachment piece.
Right. And that's a hard thing because, we lie to ourselves, we say things to ourselves They say, well, I must need to get into this ridiculous pose.
Yeah.
But you know what? But I like this bind
Yeah.
because it stretches me. But it's not great for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so then how is that then the responsibility of the teacher to help the student understand, like, you know, is that where modifications come into play?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I might overdo it, but I don't think I do overdo it. Like if I am teaching, like this morning, 9:30 Fridays, I teach like a level 2, which the level 2 for Tribe on the website, it says it could be hatha or it could be vinyasa. So the teacher can kind of decide what they want to do. So you could just do like really, I mean, you could do it. It's a hatha practice.
That's a very general description.
Like, kick your own ass. Yeah, it's general just to like, I don't know if it helps people or not, but like, when we get into like the more advanced or more intense things, like I send out a billion reminders. So it's like, if your body doesn't do this right now, that's fine. Like if you are feeling pinching, pain, anything like that, this isn't where you need to be. Like you want to get stronger, you want to get, you know, more flexible or whatever the thing is, but like at what cost? Right. So I try to really pepper that throughout, especially in things where if I can see people are struggling. Like I was teaching more of like a flow today just because that seemed like what the vibe was, and then like about halfway through it was like take your vinyasa or hang out in down dog, and everybody's like child's pose, and I was like switching gears. But I was happy. I was really happy that everybody was in child's pose because I was like, okay, that's great. Like, I felt like, okay, message was
you know
received.
Yourself enough.
They listened to me. They were in child's pose, and then I just changed how I did the rest of it. But like, I love to see that. I love when somebody's like,
I agree.
I need this. And this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Like a lot of times, it's the males in my class who actually take the modification.
I noticed that too.
Or they go into the child's pose first, or
what is
whatever.
that?
I don't know, but I love it. You know, they're the ones that take the prop or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's these, you know, it's mostly female students that I can think of examples of right now who refuse a prop. I don't use blocks.
I've got some of that too.
Yeah.
And then even in like a yin class, that drives me totally nuts.
Yin is nothing but props, man.
Like when they're just like, I don't need a bolster for this forward bend that we're going to be in for the next 5+ minutes. Like, why would you do that? Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And then you can see that they're struggling to like, and then they want to touch their toes and hold on to their feet, and it's like, why?
Yeah. And that's
why
ego.
Are you doing that,
Ego.
Man?
And that's funny because like the whole list of yoga styles that you've got listed there, like, you know, being able to as a student of yoga, being able to get rid of my ego and say, you know what, I'd like to try a restorative class today. I need a restorative class today, or you know, I need a yin class today.
Yeah.
Something like that, and recognizing that when I acknowledge I need rest or I need to not move,
we don't do that.
Then let it go, and then actually, like, you've made the decision to go. Then do the thing.
I know.
You know, participate. If you wanted a movement class or something to kick your ass, then why are you with this class?
Yeah.
Stop kicking your ass. Like, yin's hard enough.
I know.
Stop engaging.
I know.
It's
the whole culture. It's our whole, I mean, not just in the yoga culture, it's like our whole culture.
Oh, it is. Yeah. And that's the society. Yeah, that's society.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. We're really trying to give you some honest information or honest details about yoga. We love yoga. Don't get us wrong. You know, part of loving something is also being honest and open about the things that are broken and need to be fixed. And the only real way, as we all are learning these days, to fix things is to talk about them. So that's what we're doing, warts and all. If you enjoyed this, please do click like or subscribe. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. So put comments, questions, suggestions, wherever you're ingesting this, please put comments below. And please do check out patreon.com/yoga happiness. Become a patron. Help us continue these videos. Coming up in December, the format's going to change in that these will be charged monthly, not per creation. I'm hoping to put out more content, sometimes with a shorter videos. I just want to bring more to you. I'm not trying to milk you for money, although it does help because I do want to do this more often. And remember, Patreon patrons, you are the only people that get access to my live streaming yoga classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. My 6 a.m. class. If you can't make it live, the minute that I'm done with class, those are recorded and available to you. So become a patron. There are a lot of benefits and a lot more coming up. So have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next time.